Hall County Sports is also brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals, and remember, when you go Green Ford. By Turner Wood & Smith, serving the insurance needs of our area for over 100 years. And by McKever Road United Methodist Church on McKever Road in Oakwood. Loving Christ, loving people, and helping people love Christ. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports Television. I'm your host, Gary Glenn. Well, it's time to talk some hoops. And this year, the Lanierland basketball tournament will be after Christmas, starting December the 27th. It'll be at West Hall, Chestatee this year. And last week, players and coaches got together at Edmondson Telford Center for Children in Gainesville to drop off toys and learn about the center's role in working with abused children. Pretty important stuff. And that impressed North Hall girls coach Christy House and player Sydney Cleveland of the Lady Trojans, as they told Morgan Lee of AccessNorthGA.com.
I think it just adds something extra special to the tournament that a lot of times you don't get with basketball, the opportunity that they get to see what's going on in our area, what all our community tries to do for people that have issues or problems, and it gives them a chance to give back to the community.
Now, on the court, it was the North Hall girls beating Oconee County 62-39 last week. Sydney Cleveland with another double-double, 20 points and 12 rebounds. Sydney, by the way, recently signed with Georgia College. They'll get a good one. Other recent winners from last week, Flower Branch's girls came from behind to take a region win by 3, 47-44 over Clark Central. Julianne Sutton led the Branch ladies with 16, who then walloped Heritage 68-31, Sutton leading there with 17 points on the night. And then both of the Branch teams beat North Hall. Sutton had 19 points as the Branch ladies won 56-52. Lady Falcons reportedly shot 8 free throws in the final 90 seconds for the win. Sydney Cleveland had 19 for the Lady Trojans in their first loss of the season. The Branch went to 5-1 with their third straight win. And then the Flowery Branch boys won 61-54. Tyler Bourdage with 21 points, all on three-point shots. Sam Jackson led North Hall with 18. Well, the Johnson boys ran their record as 7-0, an 84-41 thumping of Stevens County. Although they're in the same region, this one doesn't count as a designated region game. They'll meet each other later in the season for that one. Ty Cockfield had 25, Rod English 19 for the Knights. And although they lost 60-44 to the Stevens ladies, congrats to the Johnson girls. After reportedly going 1-48 the last two seasons, the Lady Knights are 3-3 at the start of this one. They seem to be a good bit improved. Leslie Ugoa had 12 in the loss. We'll go back to the Johnson boys, though. Bring to the set now Coach Jeff Steele, who is the head coach for the Johnson boys, an old friend of mine. I don't know how long we've been knowing each other.
Long time.
But hey, you knew with Rod and Ty coming back, you had a good tandem to build on. But 7-0, that's as good as you can get on the start of the season. What's kind of done it for you so far this year?
Well, their leadership's been huge, and their development in the off season. Both of them improved a great deal since last year. The young guys came along. They still have a ways to go, but everybody's starting to learn their roles, and everybody's doing what they do best for our team to be successful.
You know, we talked about this earlier in the season when I met you over at the FCA thing. You know, and talked about that impetus that you had at the end of the season last year, where you won the region and you got into the state tournament, made some noise. That kind of excitement. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able to build on that, don't you?
Absolutely. You know, our community, under the weather a little bit. The community support was awesome during that tournament. We sold both state tournament games out completely, ran out of food in the concession stand, awesome environment. And we've kind of set ourselves up for those expectations. And the seniors, Rod and Ty, specifically have kind of held these other guys to a higher standard, and they're kind of bringing them up to their level, and the younger guys are responding. So I'm pleased with the way things are going at this point, for sure.
Well, you know, although you got Rod and Ty and they're great players, they don't do it all by themselves. Give me some of the supporting members of the cast this year.
Well, Mitchell Dunham. Drew was our point guard last year. He went on to graduation, but Mitchell's really stepped up and fulfilled his role as far as a three-point shooting threat, a solid defender. Andrew Sims and Ladarius Odom are doing a great job for us at the 5 spot. Ahmad Harrison's doing really well for us as a backup point guard. And Yaz Hagens has come in and give us some big minutes as well this year.
The league going to be pretty tough again?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. You know, North Hall's in, White County's in, North Oconee's in, and Buford's in. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a little tougher top to bottom. I feel like that we can be right there. We actually host the region tournament, so I feel good about that. You know, we usually play pretty well on our home floor, so we are excited about, you know, what's to come, and hopefully we can keep improving and be where we need to be when it matters.
Well, one of the big tournaments around here, of course, always this time of year is the Lanier Land, but it's a little different this year. It's going to be after Christmas.
Right.
So what led to all of that? I mean, I think it had been after Christmas in years past.
It has. Several things. I think, you know, maybe this FCA football game, that would have been a conflict with that, I think. So we voted on moving it back, and we want to make sure everybody's got their football players. I mean, to make it fair for everybody, they need their whole roster. It's going to be exciting no matter when it is. I mean, you know how that is. It's the oldest tournament in the state of Georgia, and we're the defending champs, and hopefully we can make some noise in that again this year.
I guess we need to tell everybody it starts on the 27th this year, right?
That's correct, the 27th.
And at
West Hall and Chestatee.
Chestatee, yeah, two different locations. And, you know, I've looked at some of the rest of these, although you don't play one another in the region much anymore, you still got all these rivalries, and some of these people off to pretty good starts.
Absolutely.
How tough is it going to be to defend, Coach?
It's going to be difficult. Every game, I don't overlook anybody. Everybody's capable on a given night. We open up in the Lanier Land with Flowery Branch, who's much improved. They have some really good outside shooters. And, you know, we're gonna start right there and just stay right there for now and see what we can do with them first.
All right. All right, Jeff, thanks for coming in, buddy.
Yes,
always a pleasure to see you. Good luck to the Knights in the Lanier Land, the region, and all the rest of the way. All right.
I appreciate it, Gary.
All right,
Thanks
maybe both of you and I can get over the sniffles that we've got
hope
going
so.
on as well. It was the 300th win for Gainesville basketball coach Benji Wood as his Red Elephants survived a tough region opener in double overtime, 62-59 over Heritage. Buford transferred to Marcus Simons at 42 in the victory for the unbeaten Elephants. Sam Carpenter sank a three-pointer with under 10 seconds left in the first overtime to preserve that and send it to overtime number 2. Gainesville girls also won that night, thumping the Heritage ladies 59-28. Gainesville's Taylor Hawks led the scoring with 16 points. Elephants also swept Loganville. The girls won 47-35 as Shakaya Brown had 15 points. Hawks had 14 and Kayla Kelly had 10 rebounds. Simons had 23 as the GHS boys won 74-54 to remain unbeaten. The North Georgia Christian varsity boys beat Mountain Area Christian Academy 49-45 last week. Chris Palmer led the Chargers with 15 points, and the Chargers then took a 60-41 win over Holy Ground Christian. Palmer led that night with 11 points. Lakeview's teams beat Commerce last week. Lady Lions beating the Lady Tigers 56-50 as Hannah Grogan hit for 21 points. Male Pride made it a sweep with a 66-44 victory in their region opener. Trey Gober led the Lions with 20 points there. East Hall girls beat Peachtree Ridge 54-48 last week. Jatasia Bailey led the Lady Vikings with 20 points. And then in the next game, Kayla Myers hit 2 free throws with less than 4 seconds left to help the Lady Vikes edge by Chestatee 34-32. Kayla Watson had 12 for the Lady Eagles in that one. And the Viking boys made it a sweep, 76-33. Kevon Davenport had 18 points for East Hall. In college hoops, West Hall alumnus Shunquest Stevens had 13 points, including a pair of free throws, gave his team the lead with about 4 minutes left as his USC Upstate Spartans won 59-54 at Georgia Tech. Congratulations for the West Hall alumnus Shunquest Stevens. But speaking of this year's West Hall teams, now the girls beat Greene County last week 61-57 in overtime. Megan Kelling popped for 22 points to lead the Lady Spartans to their season opening win. They outscored Greene County 8-4 in overtime to pull out the win in the season opener. Lady Spartans came back from an early 21-5 first quarter deficit to climb within 28-19 by halftime, and then West Hall outscored the Lady Tigers 34-25 in the second half to force the OT. Another tight win for the Lady Spartans, 45-43 late last week over Jackson County. Anna McKendry had 19 and Kelling added 13 more. Chestatee swept by Lumpkin County. Lady War Eagles won 47-17 as Tyler Bennett had 18 for Chestatee. Boys with a much closer game, but the Eagles won it 56-51. Jordan Pulliam with 17 for the Chestatee War Eagles in that particular win. Well, we head back to the football field right after this. Gary Glenn on the set of Hall County Sports Television, along with Pastor Rob Bruce, who is the pastor at McKelver Road United Methodist Church, where we have our studios. And Rob, the Advent season is here.
That's right, and we've got a great sermon series. It's Christmas Through the Eyes of Mary. It's called There's Something About Mary. You know, Gary, there must have been for God to pick a 14-year-old girl from a backwater town like Nazareth to carry the Christ child. And that's what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at Christmas through the eyes of Mary. Won't you come join us?
All the way through Christmas Eve.
All the way through Christmas Eve.
All right. Look forward to it, Rob. Thank you for
Okay,
coming
Gary.
in.
Thank you.
We're back. I'm Gary Glenn, and this is Hall County Sports. Well, the football season for us is over, and it ended when Gainesville lost out in the round of 8 and unbeaten Altoona 24-17. And by the way, I want to update you on that. As a matter of fact, as they get ready for the finals for the state football championships this weekend in the Georgia Dome, Altoona themselves were then beaten by Northside Warner Robins 30-21 in the semifinal round. Now, as we told you last week, and the Elephants actually got out to a 17-7 lead, and that one went away, and they wound up being beaten 24-17. And we had Coach Bruce Miller on the show last week, courtesy of AccessNorthGA.com. But we bring Bruce back to the show to join us here on the set, and he and I both are recovering from some things, and I hope you're feeling better, Bruce. I'm trying to get that way right now.
Feeling a lot better.
I want you to tell me, first of all, a little bit about that game in itself. We haven't had a chance to talk to you about that game where you did get out to the lead and had that go away.
We got out to the lead. Altoona was a very good football team. They're the type of old-fashioned eye. They just kind of stuck it right at you, and we got out to a lead 17-7. Couldn't hold it. They came back and scored with went ahead of us with 3:40 to go in the game. We came back down the field and got down to the 15-yard line and could get it no further. And they ended up beating us 24-17. But it was a very good ball game. You could tell it was one of those games. Gary, they fumbled 4 times and we got none of them. So it was one of those things that it just didn't seem like the ball bounced right that night for us. But our kids played hard. We finished the season 10-3, and I'm so proud of our kids for the effort and the attitude they had during the year.
And another trip into the Elite Eight. And that's something that, I mean, it's almost expected of you guys now. And I suppose that's a pretty good problem to have.
That's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have. You know, our kids really think if we're not practicing over Thanksgiving that we've had a bad year. And I'm glad that that's their expectations. And it seems like this past year especially, we finally got healthy in the playoffs, and we got in the playoffs, and we made a run at it. And it was just 1 or 2 things here we could have easily played in the semifinals, and who knows if you take one game at a time.
That's right. That's right. And it's a lot about matchups once you get to that point. A little bit about a couple of your players. Mikey Gonzalez, over 3,000 yards passing for the season. Chris Williams, over 1,000 yards and catches for the season. So you really had some people come on, didn't you?
Oh, we did. We did. Like I said, right near the end of the regular season, we started getting healthy. We started getting people back that had been out 4 and 5 weeks, 6 weeks with injuries. And Chris Williamson had a great year for us. He is our big play receiver. He made so many catches for us in the playoffs that were just huge catches. And then, of course, Mikey throws for over 3,000 yards. I think in our classification, he's like the number 2 or number 3 rated passer in our classification. Mikey just did a great job of leading our team, of getting us in the right plays, of just doing things during the year that a quarterback has to do for you to be successful. And Mikey's a large reason we were successful.
Well, a strong tradition of quarterbacking at Gainesville High School. And in fact, before we go any further, I want you to talk about a couple of your quarterbacks that have gone on to other things. Blake Sims, the MVP of the SEC championship game, and then Deshaun Watson, who comes in and starts as a freshman at Clemson University. Bruce, that's amazing to me.
It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. I'm so proud of those kids for what they've done, and Blake's story is just a feel-good story in itself. He stayed there 5 years, finally worked his way into being the starting quarterback, and once he got the starting quarterback job, he just went on and did great things with it. Like you said, Saturday in the SEC championship, he won the Most Valuable Player award. Deshaun had a great freshman year at Clemson, and just a lot of good things happened to our kids that came from Gainesville High School, and we're so proud of them.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any explanation for it because Mikey had a great year, like you said, and he's a fine baseball player too. So the tradition at Gainesville is just there. When you get put in a position to play for things, you're expected to do well. And maybe that's part of the mentality of why you guys don't seem to have to rebuild so much as the old saying used to be, reload a little bit.
Well, I think it's a tribute to our coaches and to our community and our kids and our administration. Every year that, when we start with the impression that we're going to be playing deep into the playoffs. You talk to our kids about region championship. Of course, we didn't win the region championship this year, but you talk to our kids about region championships and state championships, and you seem to have their attention because they want to play for the state championship, and we've been very fortunate.
And now Blake's got a chance to play for the national championship.
Can you believe that?
That's amazing. I'm so proud of those guys as well. I feel a little bit of pride of just being around the same areas. And I think a lot of people around this area do. It kind of when they get out of here, when they're playing against your team, you don't really pull for them, but when they get out of here, they kind of do.
Yeah. Well, I found myself Saturday. I was, when Missouri came back on them, I found myself getting as nervous as a coach probably would on the sideline, saying, "Come on now, Bama, we got to come back and win this thing, and come on, Blake, get them going." And they drove down and answered, and it was just a great feeling to see Blake getting all that stuff.
Before we get out of here, Bruce, I want to let you have a chance to maybe brag on your seniors a little bit, and then talk about what you got coming back.
Okay. Well, we had a great senior class. They stepped up every game that we needed them to step up in. They played great. We had, like I said earlier in the broadcast, we had some injuries during the season that really crippled us at certain points of the season, but we got everybody back healthy. Our seniors started really playing some good ball at the end of the season, and our seniors just did a great job of playing hard on Friday night and showing up and making us where we were able to win some games right there at the end. And every senior class, you always hate to see them go, but we got a good senior class coming. We feel like we've got a very talented group coming, and we hate to see these seniors go, but that's high school football. Every 4 years, you got a different group that you got to go with.
All right, Bruce, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you over the holidays. Now, before we get away from football, I do have this one note. Now, I was invited to the North Hall football banquet the other night. And by the way, I appreciate that very much, folks. It was a really good meal. In addition, it was kind of an interesting thing when they got around to picking the most valuable player. These days of a lot of scoring and a lot of accolades that go the way of the quarterbacks and the running back and the wide receivers, the man that they honored as the North Hall Trojans' most valuable player was a lineman, senior captain and center, Hayden Hughes. As an old lineman myself, I got to tell him, way to go. We're back to wrap things up when we conclude.
There are moments in life that you wish would last forever. Dreams that really do come true. Treasures worth protecting. And a future to prepare for. Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, insuring your future since 1905.
You've decided it's time to get in shape. Now let Falcon Parkway Fitness in Flowery Branch help you achieve your goal. Open since 2000, Falcon Parkway Fitness features free weights, exercise machines, group fitness classes, as well as personal training in a fun family environment with childcare, lockers, showers, and 24-hour access. Come by for a free consultation with a certified personal trainer. And just next door, check out Optimum Body Care Day Spa with massage, facials, and waxing, or K. Michael's Salon for hair and nail care. Falcon Parkway Fitness is your hometown family gym, located in Flowery Branch, right behind the public shopping center.
Gary Glenn on the set of Hall County Sports Television, along with Pastor Rob Bruce, who is the pastor at McKelvey Road United Methodist Church, where we have our studios. And Rob, the Advent season is here.
That's right, and we've got a great sermon series. It's Christmas Through the Eyes of Mary. It's called There's Something About Mary. You know, Gary, they must have been for God to pick a 14-year-old girl from a backwater town like Nazareth to carry the Christ child. And that's what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at Christmas through the eyes of Mary. Won't you come join us?
All the way through Christmas Eve.
All the way through Christmas Eve.
All right. Look forward to it, Rob. Thank you for
Okay,
coming
Gary. Thank you.
We are back. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. We begin this segment with wrestling, and this is the weekend for the Hall County Duels. It'll start this coming Friday at 5:30 at West Hall, and then the wrestling will pick back up on Saturday morning around 9 o'clock. Now, recent champions have been Flowery Branch, Chestatee, and North Hall. In fact, the Trojans won it last time out. Earlier this week, videographer Henry Gomez and I dropped by West Hall to speak with the Spartan head coach, Eric Raddick, about this year's tournament.
Eric, tell me a little bit about the tournament this weekend, the Hall County Duels. A little early this year for this.
Yeah, well, the state changed some of the stuff at the end of the year as far as the area duels and whatnot, so we decided as a group of coaches to move it forward, which is going to be a little bit of change. Now, way back in the day, it was in December, so some folks will remember that, but we just felt it was best as far as our schedule-wise to change it. So it'll be this Friday and Saturday.
Is it people wrestled enough for you to get a feel of how this thing's going to go? Is it going to be wide open?
Well, I don't know about everybody else, and we wrestled Chestatee this week. And I don't know everyone else's competition schedule, and that's one of the things that everyone was apprehensive about is it being early in the year and football conflicting. So it could be very interesting, and not really too many people know what to expect going into it.
Well, we've seen some people dominated over the last couple of years, haven't we? It's been kind of between just a couple of teams.
Yeah. Well, and to that, I would say there's changes in head coaches at a lot of schools. Several schools have graduated a lot of folks. So again, I personally don't have a handle on it, and I don't know that there might not be anyone that does.
Tell me about your team. How are you wrestling this year?
We're wrestling well. We're excited. We've wrestled to 5th place at several tournaments with a lot of 6A and 5A schools, which fell short a few times, but we've got a lot of upperclassmen. We've got a full lineup, and again, we're still growing and seeing where we're going to fit in, but we're excited about where we're at right now.
How many matches are you going to have going at one time?
We're going to wrestle 4, so there's 8 teams, and there'll be 4 matches per round, so every team will wrestle every round.
And people can show up and see a lot of wrestling at one time.
Yeah, we're going to start at 5:30 on Friday, and you can see each school in the county wrestle from 5:30 on Friday, basically, to probably 3 or 4 on Saturday at any time you come in the gym. So we're excited to host, and it should be a great weekend.
Now, in wrestling from this past week, Chestatee won a couple of matches. Anthony Aguilar, Jonathan Castillo, Isaac Alarcon, Jaime Arroyo, and Juan Guzman each recorded 2 pins for the War Eagles as they defeated East Hall 63-15 and East Jackson 55-12. Harold Cuevas, Marvin Cunningham, Matthew McClellan, Garrett Brader, Kyle Neller, and Austin Donaldson all won one match by pin on the evening. Now, talk about planning ahead. Riverside Military is already booking summer camps for wrestling, boxing, and lacrosse, as well as football and other stuff. Now, you can contact Candy Robinson at Riverside for more information on these particular camps. Well, a couple of our local softball players from rival schools will now be teammates at North Georgia. Callie Turner, an infielder from East Hall, and Kelly Callett, an outfielder from Flowery Branch, will now be Nighthawks. Turner had a .503 batting average her senior year and contributed to her all-region recognition. Three-time All-Region member won her the East Hall High School Lady Viking Award in 2014. And off the field, Turner's a three-time member of the Beta Club. Turner and her travel ball team, the Atlanta Vipers, were top 10 finishers at Nationals. Gallett recorded 200 career hits at the Branch. Four-time first-team All-Region member hit a hefty .601 her senior year. That contributed to her 2014 Georgia Dugout Club All-Star Game selection. Gallett also earned All-State honors in 2012. A four-year scholar athlete, Gallett will begin her college career having already taken dual enrollment classes as a senior. Gallett attended the ASA National Tournament from 2012 to 2014 with her travel ball team, Team Georgia, but she will be playing for the Georgia Impact this summer. Okay, also signing for North Georgia University, the University of North Georgia, I should say, University of North Georgia in a different sport. Cross-country runner Michaela Ellis of North Hall will in the future be running for the Nighthawks. Now, many of our local weightlifters will be heading to the Body by George mini-meet in Loganville this weekend. That'll be at the Covenant Christian Academy, and lifting scheduled to get underway around 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. And that FCA football game that we talked about, that will be on Friday, December the 19th, and that will be at Gainesville City Park. We'll have more on that hopefully next week. That's our show for this week. I'm Gary Glenn, Hall County Sports. Hall County Sports is also brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals, and remember, when you go Green Ford. By Turner Wood & Smith, serving the insurance needs of our area for over 100 years. And by McKellar Road United Methodist Church on McKellar Road in Oakwood. Loving Christ, loving people, and helping people love Christ. Yeah.